Good afternoon, guys. Good afternoon. How has been your trade? What trade have you executed today? Let me know in the comment section. I believe you can hear me loud and clear. What trade have you executed today and how is it going? Let me know in the comment section. Confirm you can hear me loud and clear. Confirm you can hear me loud and clear. How has it been today? My day has been great. I caught the sales on NU and EU. NU and EU over 50 pips, yeah, on each, yeah, close to over 40 pips on each of the days, over 40 pips. So it's been a great day. How has it been at your end? Let me know in the comment section. Let me know in the comment section. My day has been great. It's been great. I believe you can hear me loud and confirm you can see my screen. I pray that the network would not misbehave. I pray the network will not misbehave this time. Mr. Joseph. Confirm you can see my screen. Confirm you can see my screen. So how has been trading today? What pair have you, which of the instruments have you traded today? And how is it going? How is it going? How is it going? How is it going? So ADP will be released by 1:15. So before the news is released, let's do a technical analysis. Okay, so let's do a technical analysis before they release the news. The news will be released in 3 minutes from now. Okay, so let's just quickly look at our dollar index. Really sorry for the morning session. I had to just go off because of the poor network this morning. Okay, so let's look at dollar index. Like I told you guys, if you heard me this morning, my bias on dollar index is bullish. Okay, my bias is bullish on dollar index. Dollar index yesterday candle closed as a spinning top. It's a spinning top, and if you go down to 4 hour, let's see the pattern we had on 4 after the close of yesterday candle. This is what we had on 4 hour. Okay, if you go to 1 hour, I'm sure you'll be able to identify a bullish reversal pattern. So you can see what we had on 1 hour. At this point, we had a spinning bottom, we had an hammer, we had a spinning bottom. So this is an indication that the sellers are becoming weaker and buyers are showing up strong in the market. So this would have been a good opportunity to buy. Okay, so DXY started buying yesterday. And if we go back to 4 hour, you would see that we had a candle that looks like a shooting star here before the close of the market. And the last candle for yesterday market closed as a bearish candle, and it gave us a resistance. Okay, so if you want to trade resistance and support, you would have just waited for breakouts from the resistance. As you can see, this is the first candle that broke out. The previous 4 hour candle closed above this resistance level. That tells you that we have more demand than supply. We have more demand than supply, and you should look for buys. And like I said, I think USD DXY would come fill this gap. That's my expectation. Okay, so if price gets into this zone, we might be looking for opportunity to sell. Okay, so and if it breaks out above this zone, then we should expect price to come, it might come through this fair value gap. That is what I see playing out on dollar index. So the candlestick pattern that forms after price fills this fair value gap will determine if it would go bearish. And if a candle breaks out from this zone, okay, then we should expect price to go fill this fair value gap, which is at a premium area. Okay, so that's my take on DXY. So I think the news has been released. Let's check. Dollar pairs are likely going to become volatile. Let's see. You can see dollar index now. See that massive drop on dollar index. You can see that it's become volatile. Let's see. think it's, if it's bearish, that means it's negative. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, negative for the dollar. You can see why dollar index is selling at the moment. It's bearish. And the difference is much from 99K positive. The difference is much from 99K positive to negative 33K. That difference is much. The difference is much from 99K to 33K. So let's see how traders react to it. Technically, that is bullish, but let's see how traders react to this news. Okay, so you can see it's selling. Okay, so let's see. It's very bullish on the. Okay, so on 1 hour time frame. Okay, so this pullback, maybe it's coming to fill. Maybe it's coming to fill. We have this fair value gap here on 1 hour. Has that gap been filled? Okay, so let's see how the market reacts to the news. Okay, so we have this fair value gap here, and we have this fair value gap here. So the price might just pull back. It might just pull back to this zone. Okay, might just pull back to this zone. So let's see if traders react to this. Okay, so my bias still remains bullish, irrespective of the fact that fundamentals were negative, came out negative for the dollar. My bias still remains bullish, so we could see a little retracement. If price could retrace to fill this fair value gap or fill this fair value gap, my bias still remains bullish for the dollar. Okay, so which pair do you want me to analyze? Let me know in the comment section. Which pair do you want me to analyze? Let me know in the comment section. So my bias still remains bullish for the dollar. So let's see. Okay, I said I'm seeing a setup on USD card. I think let's see USD card. Seeing a buy setup on USD card. Okay, I'm seeing a buy setup on USD card. So what's my plan for USD card? I'm waiting for price to break this resistance. If 1 hour candle closes above this resistance, I will be buying USD card. Okay, if price closes above that, I took it. I've already bought USD card. I'm in profit on USD card. But if price breaks this high, I'm going to execute more trade on USD card. So I'm buying USD card. So since the news came out negative for the dollar, it means dollar will be weak. And I can see on 1 hour time frame, you can see we have this fair value gap here, which is in confluence. This fair value gap is in confluence with this broken resistance support, or you call it your breaker block. You can see. So price might pull back to fill this fair value gap. So it's either price breaks out, 1 hour candle plays above this high for me to buy, or price pulls back into this zone. Okay, these are the two areas that I'll be considering buying. A breakout from this resistance, 1 hour candle should close above this resistance, or price pulls back into this zone for me to buy. That's my take on USD card. Okay, and if I'm buying USD card, I'm aiming for this next draw on liquidity. This will be my target on USD card. This will be my target for USD card. Okay, so that's my take. If I'm buying from this zone, my stop loss will be at this level. If I'm buying from this zone, my stop loss will be at this level. If I'm buying from this zone, from the break of resistance, after price breaks out of resistance, my stop loss will be at this zone. Okay, so that's my plan for USD card. Okay, that's my plan for USD card. Let me know which pair you want me to analyze. Let me know in the comment section. What pair do you want me to analyze? Let's see GBP USD. Okay, so let me start with 4 hour time frame. Okay, so GBP has been bearish. It's been bearish, and I believe it is still bearish. But because of the data that came out negative for the dollar, we might see some pullbacks on GBP USD. We might see some pullback on GBP USD. So you can see we have this fair value gap here. Price just, I think, filled the fair value gap here. Okay, so price just filled a fair value gap here. Okay, good. Okay, so let's go down to, let's go to 1 hour time frame. Let's see what we have on 1 hour. Okay, so there's a pullback from this fair value gap, from the fair value gap we identified on. GU might pull back. Okay, GU might pull back. You can see this fair value gap here. Okay, GU might pull back to this zone. It might, because of the data it's negative for the dollar, so it might pull back. You can see we have this previous high here, which I believe is an area of liquidity, because most retail traders will see this as an engulfing pattern, and most would have sold, and their stop losses will be at this level. So there is a high probability GU might pull back to this zone. Okay, so currently bearish on GU, bearish on GU. GU is likely going to come fill. It doesn't come to fill this fair value gap. This is my first TP for GU. This low is my first TP, and if price breaks out from this low, then GU might come fill this fair value gap. There's a tiny fair value gap here. Okay, so this is my first target on GU. If it breaks out from this zone, then it's coming to fill this tiny fair value gap here. Okay, so that's my take on GU this week. It might not get to this zone today. Okay, it might not get to this zone today. Tomorrow is NFP. NFP will be released tomorrow by 1:30 p.m. So that's my take on GU. Is that clear? That's my take on GU. I hope that is clear. Gold. Okay, let's look at gold. Let's look at gold. Let's look at gold. Okay, gold. Let's look at gold. My bias on gold is bullish. My bias on gold is bullish. My bias on gold is sorry. My bias on gold is bearish. Sorry, my bias on gold is bearish. Okay, so this was what we had yesterday. Okay, so you can see what we had yesterday. Yesterday was bullish, and I think yesterday move could be to just sweep the liquidity residing at this previous high. You can see this high. Okay, so the bullish move yesterday could just be to sweep the liquidity, and you can see we had a fair value gap at this point. You can see we had a fair value gap here, right? You can see this fair value gap, right? You can see this fair value gap. Okay, so the buy yesterday buy could just be to sweep the liquidity residing at this previous high, and also to fill this fair value gap. Okay, so let's see how the 4-hour candle closed. The last 4-hour candle closed yesterday. Let's see. Let's go down to 4-hour. Okay, so you can see what we had on 4-hour time frame. This is an engulfing pattern. This is an engulfing pattern. Most retail traders have executed sell. It's most likely they have stop losses residing at this previous high. And above this previous high, you can see we have a fair value gap here that has not been filled. So this is where I will be considering, selling gold. Okay, if I want to take a trade on gold, I want to see price sweep the liquidity residing at this previous high, which was yesterday high, and also fill this fair value gap. This would be a good area to consider selling gold. That is my take on gold. Okay, I am bearish on gold, but price needs to pull back, sweep the liquidity residing at this previous high, and also fill this fair value gap. Okay, so it's at that point that I'll be considering selling gold. So my bias for gold is still bearish. It's still bearish. And after the formation of this, let's see, after the formation of this engulfing pattern, it's most likely if you ever look at was created on a lower time frame. Let's see 1 hour, let's see 15 minutes. Let's see 15 minutes. So on 15 minutes, we had a fair value gap here which has been filled. This fair value gap here. So if I see a strong rejection from this gap, was filled at this point. If I see a strong rejection from this zone, okay, from this zone, if a 1 hour candle close bearish below this zone, I will take a sell on gold. If a 1 hour candle closes bearish below this zone, I would sell and my stop loss would be at this relative equal high. Okay, so that's my take. You could see that on 15 minutes time frame, you could see that gold has been in a range, I think since yesterday, 25th of July. Is this 25th? No, 4th of July, sorry. 1st of July, since yesterday, it's been bearish. It's been ranging, I mean. It's been in a range, so look for your sell setup. My bias for gold is sell. It is sell. Is there another pair you want me to analyze? Do you have any other pair you want me to analyze? Let me know in the comment section. What other pair do you want to analyze? Let me know in the comment section. What other pair do you want me to analyze? What other pair do you want me to analyze? Let's look at Euro USD. Let's see Euro USD. Euro USD has been bearish since the market opened. It's been bearish since the market opened, and now it's just pulled back. Okay, because of the news that was released. So let me go back to 4 hour. Okay, let's see. So this is on Euro USD. Okay, so 4 hour candle, it's been bearish. Let's see 1 hour. Let's see. So I think, okay, so I think we have a tiny fair value gap here. That you can see this fair value gap. We have this fair value gap here. I feel it's okay. There's a tiny fair value gap here. It's a very tiny one. Very tiny fair value gap. Okay, a tiny fair value gap there. So EU might want to fill this gap before going bearish. So you should look for your sales at this area. And I think we still have a fair value gap here. We have a fair value gap here. You can see this gap. You can see this fair value gap here. You can see this fair value gap here also. So at this point, there was an attempt to fill this fair value gap at this point. Okay, so EU, I think, is set for sell. If a 1 hour candle closes below this zone, let's see 15 minutes. Okay, if a 1 hour candle closes below this zone, then one can consider selling. Okay, that is if the next 30 minutes or the next 215 minutes candle closes below this zone, you could risk selling, what's it called? Euro USD. You can see the patterns we had here. We had an hanging man, bearish candle indicating change in trend. And most rated traders have executed sell after the formation of this pattern. And where would they have their stop losses? Their stop losses will be residing at this previous highs, right? Their stop losses will be residing at this previous high. And I think what they've done is to sweep the liquidity residing at this previous high. So if 1 hour closes below this zone, then you should look for sales on USD, on Euro USD. So on USD, like I told you, I want to sell. Sorry, I want to buy. I already have a buy trade, but I still want to add to the trade. I still want to add to this trade. I want to buy. Okay. So I think what they've done on USD card is to sweep liquidity reset at this previous low. Okay. Were they able to sweep this liquidity? You can see this liquidity also. I think. Okay, they've swept the liquidity reset at this previous low. So if 1 hour candle closes above this zone, okay, if 1 hour candle closes above this zone, I will be looking for buy. I will add to my existing trade. That trade is currently on negative. How many pips? About 17. Yeah, 17 pips negative. 17 pips negative. So I'm going to add to it if 1 hour candle closes above this zone. Okay, guys. So I think that will be all for this session. Any question? Any question? Any pair? Is it Australian dollar USD? Okay, a few minutes. Let's see Australian dollar USD. Australian dollar USD should be bearish also. Australian dollar USD. Australian dollar USD should be bearish. Okay, so let's start with let me start with the daily frame. Okay, so you can see how yesterday candle closed. It looks like an hanging man. Okay, it looks like an hanging man. So if today's candle closes bearish, we should expect more sales on Australian dollar. If today's candle closes bearish, now after the close of yesterday, let's see the pattern we had on after the close of yesterday. Let's see what we had on 4 hour. Okay, so you can see what we had on 4 hour. We could say yesterday was just a ranging market on Australian dollar USD. You can see there was no clear direction yesterday. And the first candle that formed today, I think this was the first candle for today's market. It closed as an hanging man. You can see that. It closed as an hanging man. And I think that's after price filled a fair value gap that was created. Let's see. Let's go down to lower time frame. Okay, so this network is to start misbehaving. Okay, so you can see on 1 hour, as you can see, we had this fair value gap here. You can see we had this fair value gap here. So price pulled back yesterday. Okay, so after the value gap got created here, it created a new high here, which I believe most of the have executed sell after the formation of this high. Okay, because there was an attempt to fill it here. It actually filled it, created a high. So what they did was to sweep the liquidity that was created at this previous high. That was what they did. You can see, and after they cleared the liquidity, you can see the pattern that formed this morning. This was yesterday. This was in London session. Yeah, I think that was first for the day. So you can see a bearish reversal pattern formed there. You can see bearish reversal pattern formed, and it has been bearish, and I believe it is still bearish. I think it's coming for this zone, this level, this fair value gap here. That could be its next target. Okay, so that's what I see, and it's likely also going to sweep the liquidity residing at this previous low. So if price breaks out from this zone, then we should expect Australian dollar USD to come sweep the liquidity residing at this previous low. Australian dollar USD is bearish. Australian dollar USD is bearish. Australian dollar USD is bearish. It is bearish. Which other pair do you want me to analyze? Let me know. I will end the session by 1:40. 4 more minutes to go. So if you have any question or any pair you want me to analyze, let me know in the comment section. 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 If you have any pair you want me to analyze, let me know in the comment section. If you have any question, drop it in the comment section. Let's see yen basket. So since the buyers are still pushing price, are still in control on yen. Okay. Let's see for R. Okay. So we had this fair value gap here. Okay. So the buyers are still in control. At the moment, buyers are still in control. So if one wants to sell yen, you have to wait for a candle to close this zone, this fair value gap. You can see price just filled that gap. Price just filled that gap. Okay. So this morning, what they did here, I think we had a fair value gap here. Price came in, filled that fair value gap, and you can see there was a strong rejection of that fair value gap. Went back up here to fill this fair value gap. So if a candle closes below this zone, that's when we will consider selling for. From the pattern we're seeing on the chart now, we can tell that yen is still bullish. The buyers are still in control. Okay, but my buyers on yen still remains bearish. My buyers on yen still remains bearish. So we need to wait for a bearish reversal pattern to form before we risk selling. Before we risk selling. Okay. So guys, I think that will be all for this session. If there are no questions, give the video a thumbs up if you haven't done that. And if it's your first time joining the live stream, please do subscribe to the channel so that anytime I come on live, you'll get notified by YouTube, and any drop content, any video, you would also get a notification from YouTube. So please do subscribe to the channel. Any question for the last time? No questions, no question. Thank you, Mr. Joseph. Thank you, Mr. Clement, for joining. Okay, those are the two persons I can see their names that would have commented. I appreciate you guys for your participation. If you want to be appreciated when you join the live stream, you want me to recognize you, always drop a comment. That's the only way I can know that you are on the live stream. Okay. Thank you very much. I wish you guys a profitable trading day. Bye for now.